Our coverage tonight begins with judicial matters. The National Judicial Council, under the chairmanship of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, has recommended 2 heads of court for compulsory retirement over judicial misconduct. The Council, at its 107th meeting held November 13 and 14, 2024, recommended the duo of the Chief Judge of Imo State, Justice T.E. Chukwuemeka Chikeka, and the Grand Kadi of Yobe State, Kadi Babagana Mahdi, for compulsory retirement for falsification of age. This was disclosed in a statement signed by the Council's Deputy Director of Information on Friday in Abuja. The Council also suspended 2 judicial officers, Justice G.C. Aguma of High Court of Rivers State and Justice A.O. Nwabunike of Anambra State High Court, from performing judicial functions for 1 year without pay. To discuss this now, we're joined by lawyer and rights activist Deji Adeyanju. Deji, it's good to have you on the news. For some clarity, what does this decision by the NJC signify for judicial accountability in Nigeria? How does it demonstrate the Council's commitment to upholding the integrity of the judiciary?
Yes, let me first commend the NJC for this brave and courageous decision. But that is to say that more still needs to be done to cleanse our judiciary. Lawyers, people on the bench, the general public, the mass media, civil society, everyone has a role to play to ensure the impartiality of the judiciary, to ensure that our judiciary is cleansed of corrupt and bad elements within the system. This is the only way that we can truly make sure that, the judiciary remains the last hope of the common man.
I mean, is this enough steps, in your view, to begin to re-establish trust for the credibility of the judiciary?
Not enough at all. The principal stakeholders in the judiciary must ensure that the judiciary is immune from political interference, from executive, legislative, and interference from private persons. A judiciary will be said to be free from interference when the executive cannot influence its decisions, when the legislature cannot influence its decision, and when private persons, and like we have seen now of this decision by the NJC, the heavy hammer has come down on these judges that have been found wanting. The code of conduct for judicial officers is extremely, very stringent on the behavior and the forbidden impropriety that is not expected of a judicial officer. And the only way that this can be ensured is when everyone, both the stakeholders, litigants, lawyers, people must stay away from compromising judges. Politicians must stop interfering in administration of criminal justice and even justice as a whole. The executive must stop trying to compromise the judiciary. Private persons must stop trying to curry favors from judges. And lawyers in the temple of justice must be courageous enough to report judges, to the NJC.
I mean, there must be, for them to be courageous enough to report, there must be some buffers rather, to protect them from victimization and other issues, I guess. But that's not what I wanted to ask. I just wanted to add something to what you're saying. What I would like you to speak on now is particularly the implication for the judges in terms of maybe their future careers and potential civil or criminal action against them.
Yes, I was just about getting straight to that retirement is not enough. There must be prosecutorial steps to be taken against these people. When people are just given a pat on the back and allowed to go after committing grievous sin, in perversing justice, it sends a message that these people are immune from prosecution. These people must face the full wrath of the law. This is the only way that we can sanitize the judiciary and save our nation. Every nation, every lawyer or every judicial officer or even court officials who is involved in one way or the other in compromising the judiciary must be held accountable to the highest standard, whether they be justices of the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, or the High Courts, or even other judicial officers, that they must be held accountable to the last dot, that whenever anybody is found wanting, they must face the full wrath of the law, because these are judges who sentence people to death. These are judges who jail people for 20, 21 years. These are judges who pass down all kinds of judgment. And when they are found to be wanting in one way or other, or corrupt, that they should face similar treatments that litigants who have come before them, who have been jailed, that they should face similar treatment. This is the only way to sanitize the judiciary.
What further actions do you expect to see from the current CJN towards redefining the confidence in the judiciary, especially with the conflicting judgments we see everywhere?
Yes, the CJN must go hard on judges and even litigants and even lawyers who engage in a multiplicity of suits, judges who give contradicting judgments. How can people give judgment against the decided position of the Supreme Court on defection? How can people, begin to make a mockery of the judiciary? This is why citizens are mocking us as a profession. This is why citizens are mocking the judiciary. The confidence of the citizenry in the judiciary is at its lowest ebb. The only way we can do this is to stay away from political interference of any sort. Nigerians have the right, have the locus to criticize judges who bring the judiciary into disrepute, and we must live above board. Okay. We must say no to political interference. We must say no to accepting houses being built for judges. The judiciary have their own budget. If the judiciary or judicial officers need houses, they should build houses for themselves. They should not allow FCT minister and politicians, state governors in the states to be building houses and dashing judges gifts of cars. These are the things that lead to compromise. When people begin to see as if the judiciary go cap in hand begging politicians or begging the executive, this is the issues, and this is what makes people not to have confidence in the judiciary, and the reason why people do not litigate. And also we must speed up the process of appeals. That even a court of first instance, we must ensure that litigants and cases are swiftly dealt with, so that people can have hope in, and even investors can have hope in investing in the country, and have hope in the judiciary that when cases are brought before the courts, cases are litigated speedily and things are decided timely as well.